Hey guys, Bart with Bicycle Rider YouTube. I've got a 2-week goal to learn how to wheelie this bike. Why is this bike so hard to wheelie? I am a veteran bike rider. Let me not go into all my credentials, but I've been racing mountain bikes for over 20 something years. Before that, growing up, I did a lot of BMX racing. Mountain bike, I also do a lot of road racing. I race everything, I ride everything. I ride bikes almost every day. And I see what people do on these big wheel BMX bikes. It's awesome to see the long wheelies, how controlled people are with that front wheel in the air on these bikes. And for some reason, I'm having a hard time doing it. But I think I've figured out why. Stick with me for a little bit, and I've got a couple things that I'm going to go over with you on why these bikes are harder to wheelie, especially if you've got experience in mountain bikes and other things. There's some tricks I'm learning. I've given myself a 2-week goal to learn how to keep this front wheel in the air because I've got a big ride coming up and I want to ride down the beach in control and one wheel up. So anyway, stick around with me for a few minutes. I'll try to get some ride video. It's 4th of July 2022. I'm at my mom's house for a picnic, and I brought my bike so I can play around in the backyard, learn how to wheelie it. I'll see if I can set up a camera and see if you guys can watch me, but I do have a couple theories on why this bike is hard to wheelie for me. All right, guys, I've got a couple theories on why this bike is hard for me to wheelie. One, gear ratios. Now I do have a fast ripper, so I have multiple gear ratios. But I notice on the gear ratio that most of these SE bikes or big wheel BMX bikes are coming from, they're real tall gear. I guess on the mountain bike, I'm used to spinning up an easier to gear that get that bike up and get that wheel up in the air. With this bike, I really have to pedal and pull pretty hard, a lot harder than I do on my mountain bike or a fat bike, or shoot, even my drop bar gravel bike, I can get that front wheel up in the air pretty good. But I think the big difference, especially for someone that has experience doing mountain bikes, like I've been clipped in racing my mountain bike for 20 plus years. I've had a lot of damage going way over and falling. Rather than hit my brakes, I've tried to pop out, and when you're clipped in, it's hard to pop out when you're rolling over backwards. So from my tailbone, my back, and the back of my head, I do have that in my head not to go over too far. So what I'm doing is a speed wheelie. I'm going down the road and I'm picking up speed. I'm just on that balance point. I'm not at the balance point where I need to be. I'm about right here on that balance point. And I can keep it up for, a few hundred feet, and that's usually, my style wheelie is, I'm riding a wheelie for, a short time, and I'll show you guys here in a little bit if I can get some camera footage of it. I'm pretty good at that. Flat bars, so I'm used to a flat bar rather than a curved handlebar anymore. So I'm having to be at a little bit different position. And these bars are wide. I'm a small guy, so I probably need to get a little bit different style bar, but stick with me for a little bit, and I'm going to go over a few methods I'm using to get better at wheelies. I am going to have to bleed my hydraulic brakes on my new fast ripper. We've built a couple of these, and I'm used to having to, and I'm not just talking about SE bikes, but on these Tektro brakes, we often, as a new bike in the bike shop, and I do own a bicycle shop, so I'm constantly working on bikes. And we do have to bleed a lot of the Tektro brakes coming out of the factory. So I'm going to bleed these brakes. I'm going to work on my wheelies, and I'm going to take you guys with me on the journey. So if you want to learn how to ride a wheelie at 52 years old, or reteach your brain to go over to the balance point that's really needed, not here, but here. Let's see if I can do it. I'm willing to be the guinea pig, so stick with me for a little bit, and we'll see if we can get our wheelies down pat together. All right, Bart with Biloxi Bicycle Works and the Bicycle Rider YouTube. Stick with me. I got to get out of the rain here real quick. All right, everybody, Bart with Bicycle Rider YouTube. I was talking about the wheelies and my 2-week goal to be able to hold this thing up. I got chased in by the rain, so we're back out now. It is the 4th of July. We're at my mom's house, so I don't have my helmet with me today. I recommend, if you're 52 years old, probably wear your helmet. If you're younger, you probably should too, but I know you guys don't really listen to reason, so have fun any way you want to do it. But my trick is going from the speed wheelie to a balance wheelie. I was talking that before, and I was worried about the camera getting wet, so we dive bombed in. But I'm used to clipping in and doing more of a speed wheelie, which puts me about here on the balance point. This is where I need to be to get a balance wheelie, and that's where I see all the bike life kids, and not even kids anymore. There's a lot more old guys like me out here trying to do wheelies. So I have to teach my brain from doing this to doing this. It's going to be a little bit tougher because as I was learning how to do wheelies over the last 20 years, I have made some pretty bad mistakes by going over too far and not hitting my brakes. So stick with me a little bit. Misha's going to run the camera, and I'm going to show you my starting point, where I'm at doing wheelies, and I think you guys know where I want to be at in 2 weeks. So a 2-week goal might be hard to hit, especially since I run a bike shop and I don't have too much time just to go out and play on bikes. It is the Tour de France, so my bike shop is sponsoring all kinds of road rides. So yeah, I'll be wearing spandex and out there hammering the roads. But I really do like the big wheel BMX, and I see myself doing a whole lot more of this. I get spread a little bit thin with the bike shop. But if you want to learn how to do wheelies, or at least watch me attempt to do wheelies to see if you can, you know, kind of flop that into your own skill level, I'm open. Here we go. I'm going to give this a try. Man, this is there's a lot of weight to be pulled up here compared to my carbon fiber bar, but so when riding a wheelie on this bike, you really have to commit to getting the front wheel off the ground. Okay, so now I'm on the fat bike, and this bike is so much easier for me to wheelie at the moment. One, because I have a flat handlebar, and once again, as a mountain biker for several years, this is what I'm used to. A little bit different geometry, and I can just seem to get this bike up in the air a lot easier. I do have really good hydraulic brakes on this bike, where on the fast ripper, my hydraulic brakes are going to need to be bled. But I still have enough brake to bring that front end down. But I just feel a little bit more at home on the fat bike at the moment. So Misha's going to take a couple pictures of me wheeling the fat bike, and then I'm going to get back on the fast ripper. So here we go. You ready? Okay, so that was a good example of a speed wheelie, and that's what I'm talking about. I'm just underneath my balance point. So I'm here rather than here, but my brain is having a hard time. My brain is having a hard time getting to where I need to be. I just have to trust my brakes. You know, one thing might help, and I love my YouTube viewers, but I haven't had a chance to really practice this without a camera or without a crowd around. But I'm trying to catch this at the beginning of my skill level set. So you guys see where I'm starting out. I'm going to do another wheelie on the fat bike, and then I'm going to go ahead and get the fast ripper out again, because that's how I think we're not wanting to wheelie on our other bikes. We want to wheelie on our big wheel BMX bikes. I see people do it. They make it look so easy. And as me, a lifetime of cycling, I own a bike shop and I am pretty accomplished in the world of bicycling. I can't seem to get it up there. 2 weeks, stick with me. We're gonna get this thing up here and make it look fluid. It's hard, but it's gonna be worth it. Pulling a wheelie is one of those things that is just, it's magical and people really seem to like it. So we'll make people smile by doing wheelies. Okay, so this is where I'm at. You get in the front wheel off the ground. It's tough. Just pull into it. And when you hit your brakes, don't stop pedaling. I think that's one of the things I'm doing wrong is when I go hit my brakes, I stop pedaling because years of my brain telling me hitting the brakes brings that front wheel down. Normally that's what I want to do in a mountain bike racer on the trail. With this bike, I want to be able to keep this wheel up for a long time. So I've got to try to pedal through my brakes. We're going to try this again. Okay, are we ready? Okay, I've really got to commit with this bike and get this front wheel up. Okay. Here we go. Now, one thing I have noticed, at 52 years old, I believe I do have, I'm fairly flexible. I ride bikes a lot. I have a good back, but I've noticed after wrenching this bike up in the air several times, I can feel it in my lower back. So luckily I have Misha. Misha is well versed in yoga, and I'm going to start doing a little bit more yoga. I do yoga, but not as much as I probably should. So beware if you start feeling discomfort in your rear, in your back. Maybe I'm just learning how to do it, so I'm yanking up too much. But no, you're not the only one. My back normally doesn't hurt. Right now, my back it doesn't hurt, but I can feel it's just like working a muscle you haven't worked for a long time. So it's normal. Stretch out, pace your wheelie practice, and have fun doing it. So I'm going to try a couple more. Here we go.
Rolling.
Okay. Up we go. Lean back and trust your brakes. Okay. Here we go. One more. Try to get some. All right, that's what we want, but you got to keep on pedaling. So that's where we're starting out. Like I said, I've got a 2-week goal, and I want to take you guys with me. Watch me try to learn how to do wheelies like I see some of the other people doing it with ease. Because you can see on my face, I'm squinting, I'm trying too hard, but it's going to come.